the base for the preserver obelisk from Paradise Syndrome. Is that right? I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think it is. I think it was Paradise Syndrome. Anyway, it's printed in white PLA. I'm getting ready to shoot it with primer, and then the 3 sliding platforms, and then I'm going to shoot the obelisk itself, set everything up and display it and show you what the whole thing looks like. This is scaled to 1/25th scale, 1/24th scale, and there will be a small Spock studying the nomenclature on the sides of the obelisk. And there it is. The 3 plates that shift, well, one at least shifts. This main plate shifts. This is the one Kirk falls into, turns into Kirok, loses his memory, blah, blah, blah. Here it is, all in primer gray. Get in close to the, can't see it for the sun. Let me turn it around. It's got the words on, or the nomenclature. Fabrini, I guess. Alphabet, words, what have you. So, now this isn't meant to be placed exactly right now. It's the paint's just drying. I just painted it, but we will see this again. This is solid resin. The main obelisk is solid resin. This is PLA. These plates are PLA. I'm going to really do this up again with a little tiny Spock figure, maybe even a Kirk figure, maybe even a McCoy figure. I don't know. We shall see. And here is the turntable that I recently picked up from a thrift store cheap. This was a TV stand, but I got it even though it was junk for next to nothing because I wanted this turntable mechanism. I recently bought some MDF to replace this cheap press board, so I'm going to use the, as I said, the mechanism underneath to create a turntable to display my models online. Do a full 360 with this, show every aspect, top, bottom, front, side, etc. Okay, and here is the top antenna portion of the 1:1 scale Studio Accurate Nomad. Yes, it's true. I've been building accurate nomads for 12 years. 1:1, 1/6, 1/25th, half scale, third scale, whatever you want. I've got the accurate files because I worked with more than one person to produce the 3D files, and I did my research 12 years ago. Went through thousands of screen captures, used photogrammetry, trigonometry, and geometry to get every part 100% accurate. It's true. Sit back up there. It's too windy. Anyway, I'm going to do a little more finish sanding on this, and I'm going to shoot both pieces with chrome. In previous videos, 10, 12 years ago, I showed how I cut the holes for the light that comes out and stuns or wipes Uhura's memory. I will show all that as I do the build-up. We will see a lot more, the 1:1 Nomad, the 1/2 Nomad, 1/3 Nomad, etc., etc. Much, much more to come. We have here, yes indeed, it's a 1/24th scale Fifth Element Taxi, Corbin Dallas's Fifth Element Taxi. Now, this looks a little rough, but I will show you exactly how to make this look primo. There are 3 sections and 3 additional parts. Let's have a look at each part, shall we? Look at that. Boy, that looks rough, but guess what? I got this. I'm going to smooth all this out. as smooth as glass. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Yes, sir. This is the top, obviously. This is the center section. Let's get in here and focus a little more. Now, what you can see here, this octagonal pattern is, come on, focus. What? It's not that hard. Not this goofy camera. Okay, these octagonal sections are just the support material. I asked my buddy Chris to go ahead and make the thickness of the material a little thicker than average. So I'm going to core all of this out. And then I'm going to core this out after I clean it up. This is the lower bottom section. It looks a little faceted and raggedy, but again, I will show you exactly how to fix that. And when I get this all done, I may make a great big beautiful kit. People hate it when I say that because they don't want me to make any money. It's okay for them to talk smack about me for almost 20 years, but man, don't let me make a dollar. Because they're small-minded, myopic little jerks. They can't handle the truth. Anyway, this will be lightable. I will be lighting it. Here's the front grille and the rear exhaust pieces. And this is going to be a kit, complete with lighting, decals, and anything and everything you can imagine to make a superior model kit. It's true, it's true. Much more to come, as always. Alrighty then, this is the top of the Fifth Element Taxi. As you can see here, I shot it with primer, went over it with several thin coats of putty, 3M spot putty. I'm getting ready to do some minor sanding real quick with 600 grit sandpaper. Then I'm going to shoot it with another coat of primer, let that cure, and get onto it later in the next week. Okay, and here is a quick look at the upper body of the Fifth Element Taxi, which you can see the faceting and the print lines are disappearing. A little bit of work at a time, just a little bit at a time. And this will be smooth, 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 as I showed in the previous video on the Fallout 4 helmet. All right, here is the lower body. As you can see here, I've just started cleaning up some of the faceting here on the right side. Aft looking forward, this would be the right side, starboard side on a ship. So I'm just beginning to get rid of the faceting using nothing more than a file, 2 files, and a sandpaper. But we'll see more of this another time. This is the 5-foot original series Enterprise bridge. Recently worked, still a work in progress. It will be perfect. Alrighty then, so I'm working on several models tonight. This is just two of them, check, two. Okay, so basically what I've done is I've been working on smoothing this out perfectly. And I got to a point, I sanded it last week, and I meant to come back over it with some putty. I got a spot there I need to sand more. But I'm going to let the putty dry and then sand and scrape. Sand, 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 scrape, 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 sand, sand, sand. And then probably hit it with one last coat of primer just to check it out before moving further forward on the build. This is the bridge and BC deck of the 5-foot Enterprise. Original series Enterprise. Sir, yes, sir. Alrighty then. Now, as you can see right here, the classic advanced Fallout Power Armor helmet is moving along. Same thing, same. Basically, sand, 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 smooth, 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 shape, 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 putty, 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 sand, sand, sand. Now I'm getting ready to take both of these out right now, even with the putty, and shoot them with primer, because the primer, once this putty dries, the primer sets it up like concrete after the primer dries. And then when you sand it, you get a final sand. You get a final sand, smooth in shape, and you're good to go to move forward on that build. All right, let's have a look at the Nuka-Cola Girl real quick. All right, so as you see here, you start off with thin layers of 3M spot putty, glazing putty. Now what you're going to do is scrape and sand the top off. Now as you can see here, this is where it got a little bit too thick, or I was trying to spread it around and it got cracky and kind of gummy. That's okay, you haven't hurt anything. This stuff's kind of difficult to work with if you haven't done it for a while. You have to put on real thin layers. And sometimes you want to get a little bit too much on there. Anyway, the next step, I'm going to scrape. Because what we want to do is we want to fill in these minute ridges. That's all we're trying to do. And these seams. But it takes more than one step. Anyway, I'm going to get out my handy dandy trusty pocket knife. And I'm going to start scraping this off. And then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I sanded just a wee bit more of this down. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry tonight. And I wiped it down with water. And I'm going to let it dry. And then tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and mask off an area and shoot it with clear, or shoot it with gloss. The gloss will help show all the smooth areas that you don't have to work anymore and highlight the areas you're going to have to focus on. And there you go. Beautiful. Come on, focus. Beautiful bright red Nuka-Cola Classic Advanced Power Armor Helmet. We will see more of this in the future. Alrighty then, this is the top of the Classic Advanced Power Armor Helmet. As you can see, this side's really rough. It's got this horrible ridge. My God, look at that. Now you look at this side, you got some minor imperfections in the paint, but I went with gloss red on purpose. This whole ridge back here is gone. See this ridge over here and all this horrendous looking stuff? Look at this. Got one little spot right there. Now, this is easily done, believe it or not. I hear some guys complain about, it's so hard to work these parts. No, it's not. All you need is a file, a Dremel, sandpaper. Really, all you need is a file and sandpaper and some primer and paint. So what you do is you file down the ridges, file down all the high spots, sand those high spots down. Shoot a coat of primer, let it sit for 15 minutes, shoot another coat of primer, let it sit for 15 minutes. Let that completely dry and cure, degas, at least overnight. Usually it's best to go about 3 days. Let that just totally get that hard enamel candy shell. Then shoot your gloss coat and then maybe a second gloss coat. That's exactly what I did here. I filed down the high spots, put some, shot 2 coats of primer, used some thin 3M spot putty or glazing putty, sanded a little more, shot with another coat of primer, sanded a little more, shot with a coat of gloss, and shot with a coat of gloss. Now I use a knife and or a scalpel or X-Acto to scrape areas as well. So it's essentially file, sand, scrape, primer, paint. File, sand, scrape, primer, paint. File, sand, scrape, primer, paint. I mean, really, the best thing to use is wet, dry sandpaper. Go up in grades. Go 400, 600, 800, 1000 grit, wet, dry sandpaper. Sand it dry, then sand it wet. Easy peasy, easy. And here it is. Cleaned up, sanded, smooth, shaped. I'm gonna sand it one more time with 1000 grit sandpaper. And then I'm gonna hit it with another coat of primer. And this is just about good to go. Okay, so I'm out here at night when the temperature and humidity is down, spray painting parts for the T-45 helmet. You see, people don't seem to understand that there are directions on the can that says what temperature and humidity is optimum. And then they use it in non-optimum temperatures and humidities and wonder why it's not perfect. But see, I know better because I'm a professional. A real professional. Okay, so I'm going to make this quick. This is not optimal, but I have got a lot to do. I got a lot of video. I've got to make several movies. Anyway, here is the front section of the T-45 helmet. As you can see, it's mostly done. I've been cleaning, sanding, putting, priming, etc. Let's have a look at the back, and we'll see it again more in the future. And here is the back of the T-45 helmet. Again, we'll see this again, and I'll continue to show step by step what I'm doing here. Alrighty then, so this is the 1-to-1 7 of 9 head. It's true, it's true. This is still a work in progress, but I wanted to show a little update real quick. Obviously, I've got a couple of places that I need to putty. I've got to do some more sanding, masking, and painting. What I've done so far, I shot everything with primer, sanded a couple of times, masked the eyes off. I have them painted white, masked the eyes off, shot it with a flesh tone, then masked again and shot it with silver to bring out her implant. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go and do some more sanding, and everywhere where there's a little ridge or a high spot or a low spot, I'm going to sand that out. Then I'm going to mask it off, hit it with some 3M spot putty, let it dry, sand again, remask, and shoot with the flesh tone again until I get it to where I'm happy with it so I can move forward. After that, I'm probably going to do a base coat on the hair, and I'm going to try different colors on the lips to try to get them to match 7 of 9. There you go. These are the recently worked printed parts of the 1/350th Equinox. This will look perfect when done. I had someone have something snotty to say the last time I showed this. I can't wait till I get a little further along so I can prove my point. This will be perfect. I am Nomad. I am perfect. These are the reprinted parts of the 1000 Akira. More to come. And this is the 1000 Akira. As you can see, I've recently painted the parts that were recently reprinted. I'm getting ready to do a little sanding on this, and then I'm gonna prime it some more, and then I'm gonna start painting it. I've already got decals to go. Anyway, more to come. Alrighty then, here we have the wacky razors and a couple of other assorted items. Okay, you can see Dick Dastardly's rocket car and part of Penelope Pitstop's pink pussycat. And I've got a brand new one I'm going to show you here in a minute. As I said in a previous movie, I was working on this pink pussycat, and little did I know, the windshield fell to the floor, and when I got up, I stepped right on it. Beautiful, huh? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build two pink pussycats with two different options for my friend Matt's wife to pick from. How do you like that? Okay, over here you see Penelope Pitstop, Dick Dastardly, and Muttley, all paint primed and with a base coat, ready to get sprayed once again, the proper colors and or hand painted, etc. You got the engine from my custom Zinger I'm working on. Got some hot rod rims on truck tires for a truck I'm building. And you got a Ford engine for a Model T that I need to mask and paint blue. So I've got, these are the 8 exhausts that go on the back of the rocket car here. I've got to flip them over and paint the exhaust side of them black, which I'm going to do. And let's go ahead and have a look at that fresh, clean model kit still in the box. In the no-win scenario. This is Admiral James T. Kirk, 1/3 scale, accurate character model, printed in FDM. Let's have a look at Mr. Spock. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a moon shuttle conductor. And here is the upper portion of Admiral Kirk. The communicator top broke off. I'm going to have to fix that. I've recently shot this with 2 coats of primer. I'm going to let it fully cure, sand it, putty some areas, move forward with that. I purposely took the insignia off of here. I'm going to chrome that up in gold chrome. I'm going to do all the insignia parts exactly to the Wrath of Khan dress uniform or standard uniform. And that I'm going to have to do the other half, the lower half, later. I've got to wrap this up for today. So that's where that is right now. More to come. Alrighty then, as you can see, most of the faceting is gone from the 7 of 9 body, hips, torso, legs, etc. Now there's still a little bit here and there, but that's easily fixed. This was just with like 3 coats of primer and a little bit of sanding, so it's not really that big of a deal. What I'm going to do next on the body is do some creative masking and then priming, let cure, sand, and when I get it to where I want it, I'll shoot it with a skin tone base coat. Now, as you can see here, I've been sanding on and cleaning up the worst parts of the face, chin, etc. I'm going to be going over this with a scalpel to clean up some of the little plastic boogers from printing. And I'm going to be hitting right here and the ear, both ears, with acetone on a Q-tip to bring down some of that excessive paint. Now I'll probably putty a couple of areas here before I shoot it with primer again, and I'm definitely going to mask off the eyes because I want to do some additional cleanup and, like I said, a little filler. But all in all, for the small amount of work that I've got involved in it so far, I think she looks pretty good. All right, so there she is, a very tall 7 of 9, 1/3 scale figure model, work in progress. I just realized something earlier today after going over the pictures. I'm going to have to lengthen her neck. Jerry Ryan has a long neck. Thus, so does 7 of 9. At any rate, there will be a lot more to come on this. I got to put everything away. I've got to finish up some client builds and ship some stuff out next week. That's all there is to it. So we will see this again. Now, after this video, you will see a bunch of examples of Art Deco lamps. Exactly what I was talking about. This is the kind of thing I grew up around. So I look at this as art. As I said before, I look at this as art. I don't look at this as pornography. I don't look at this as something to stimulate desire or whatever in people. I mean, artistic nudes, sculptures, paintings, sketches go back thousands of years. Anyway, there you go. More to come, as always.
gateway to your own past, if you wish. Time has resumed its shape. All is as it was before. Many such journeys are possible. Let me be your gateway.
I'll just keep getting stronger. You know that, don't you?